潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
各位聽眾歡迎你嚟到潮玩飛鏢嘅節目嗰度，我係你嘅 host Robert， 仲有我哋嘅 co-host 邦邦啦，飛鏢占士邦，我哋嘅導師。今晚我哋請嚟咗一位嘉賓，就係喺香港而家為一個雜誌寫嘢嘅人物，佢叫做Marshall Jan， 亦都中文名叫阿俊，有啲人講佢。咁阿俊就會同我哋講一講佢自己本身有咩歷史有咩有趣嘅事同飛鏢有關嘅事咁樣，就當然由阿邦邦佢就訪問啦。好啦，咁事不宜遲，我哋而家就開始我哋訪問。And welcome audience to our program All About Darts. Tonight we have one of the darts writer for Datura magazine in Hong Kong. His name is Marshall Jan. He's actually originally from Canada. So Bong, our mentor here, of course, is going to be doing the interview, and I'm your host, Robert. And with that, we would now kick into the interview. Bong, let's welcome our guest.
Good evening, radio listeners. My name is Bong. We have here tonight Marshall Jan from Vancouver, Canada, and he is one of the writers of the Datura Hong Kong News magazine. Good evening, Marshall.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marshall. How are you?
We're okay, and we're just wondering what is this dartsology that you are writing in some of your blog as a blog writer?
Oh, yeah, the dartsology. So I started dartsology not long after I started playing dart. I haven't been in the dart field for that long. I started in September 2014. Half a year into playing darts, I learned a great deal from a lot of people, and fortunately enough, I was one of the rising. I guess people call me the rising stars back then, and I wanted to share my experience and my journey, to the players who are just getting into the game or stuck at a level, and since I was able to fortunately meet a lot of international players because I wanted to go travel and play at America Tour, play at the World. I met a lot of great people like Scott Kirshner, Chris Lim, Lentner, Soldier Gates. So I started wanting to share this experience to others. But how I started dartsology was I just wanted to do product review. That's all it was, because I was very passionate about it. So my first product review was a laser beam throw line, and it was the grand board and also student board. So that's how I started it. That's how I started dartsology, and now it's been becoming a blog for me where I'm able to share learning techniques, how to get better, experience I've had, achievement. Whenever that timeline is achievement, I would post it on there, and that's how dartsology came to life. And it hasn't even been 1 year yet, and thank you for all the support out there. It's almost at 1,000 likes, so thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Maybe bring me up to date again. 1,000 like is at how many followers do you actually have, which is different?
So.
Do you know?
So currently there are 900, I believe 913 up to date.
Oh, and, maybe I need, maybe I need to follow you.
And it hasn't even been 1 year yet.
So, me too.
So that's pretty awesome.
I'll search for it. So this dartsology, is it on your own kind of website, or is it in Facebook as well?
No, it's on Facebook. It's a non-profit. It's a volunteering blog, and I just write whatever. I hope that it will be able to help all the other players, worldwide. It's just on Facebook. If you type in dartsology by Marshy, you will know it's me because there's that photo of me there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea to let our people know. Actually, I think if anybody just type in Dartsology, we'll be able to find you one way or the other,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
There are only too many.
Yeah.
Okay, let us get our audience up to date first before we switch back and do more interview. Okay?
All right.
OK， 各位聽眾，今晚黑我哋嘅嘉賓Marshall Jen 咧，亦都係叫阿俊，佢就係一個開始就係2014年開始玩飛鏢嘅，咁佢大約玩咗即係1年半年至半年之後咧，佢又開始撞到即係可以見識到好多人啊，熟悉到好多飛鏢嘅標手啊，咁佢就開始寫一個佢自己開咗個博客嘅部落啊，咁佢就開始咗最初嘅目標都係諗住做一啲同大家分享有啲咩可以進步到喺飛鏢上嘅技術上嘅進步啊，亦都係做一啲作品嘅做一啲品牌嘅研究啊，或者係批評啊咁樣。大約經過1年之後，佢就而家暫時大約有1000個 like 啊，亦都係有900幾人 follow 佢。咁呢個如果大家有興趣嘅，可以喺 Facebook 嗰度打去 Dartsology， 即係 Dartsology， 咁咧就會揾到呢個博客嘅部落啊，咁可以就係可以喺度同睇下俊有咩寫啦嚇，咁 now back to Bong for a more interview.
Marcy, you graduated at Simon Fraser University in BC, British Columbia, and you play and you play other sports. Why, of all the sports, you are interested in writing about darts, Marcy?
It's very interesting. I didn't play darts for long, but I have been into sport for since childhood. I've been playing basketball since I was very young. I represented my school team, and then I have played in Taekwondo for a very, very long time since I was 5 years old. I'm 25. I just turned 25 this December, last December, and I've been playing Taekwondo. I've even represented Team Canada in 2011, and I've been into sport all this time. As an athlete. But I have never ever thought about writing about it or doing anything about it. I've always just wanted to become very good at it. I'm a very competitive person. I need to be the best at what I do. When I came to darts, this skill set of writing came to me. I studied, like you said, in Simon Fraser University. And my background is in education and publishing, so writing to me has become a second nature. And when this skill I've obtained, I wanted to use it, and that's how I wanted to. And darts came along, and fate meant it to be, or coincidence. I merged darts and writing together.
So you actually find the sports that you really want to get into. But maybe in a sense, a lot of people always on this interview being asked is what took you into darts? In other words, some of them went into playing in a bar with a couple of friends and get hooked. Some people have a family background of darts players or relatives, and they play in the basement and create thousands of holes on the wall and then learn through that process and become teenagers and get into youth programs and then eventually become great players. What's your story? Do you have a story to tell how you get into darts?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. You probably hear me chickling and smiling right now when you ask me that question, and really, it's fate. It's really fate. I was in my last semester in SFU. Like I told you, I started in September of 2014. I was in my last semester. I was walking by this very famous mall called a very famous Chinese mall called the Crystal Mall, Laizhen Gongcheng. And I passed by this place and I saw 3 machines there. It's called West Coast Dart, this place, and I saw a girl inside. So it all started with that girl. I wanted to know this girl. I went in, I learned how to play dart and whatnot, and since then I just wanted to know this girl, and I just got really good at the game that that I was playing. I was trying to impress her, and fortunately enough, she also became my girlfriend today. Her name is Jasmine, and I'm very happy about that. So that's how I got into dart, and she has been very supportive all the way. She's still in Vancouver, unfortunately, but I had to move back to Hong Kong for this passion for this dart. But she has still been very supportive all the way from Vancouver.
Wow, that's quite an interesting story. Your motivation is good. Your motivation is good, but not what somebody expected, And I would think that's very, very interesting. And
it's funny what love can do for you. Yeah, it's funny what love can do for you. Definitely, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. I hope she's worth it. I'm sure she is. And
definitely, she's the best.
Okay, well, long distance love affair is okay. My kids went through a couple of those themselves, and it's funny how time flies when you're having fun talking to you. But our first session is pretty well coming to an end. So what we'll do is that we'll come back and we'll talk to you again in our second session of this show. And when we will start with the second session, we will definitely fall back a little bit on this long translation of your romance and romantic story, and then we'll proceed with more stuff about what you do and how you, what goals you have and that sort of thing, and experience. So let's hold off, and we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much. I look forward to the next part. Thank you.
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
And welcome back to the second session of our All About Arts program. And tonight we have our guest, Marshall Jan, and from Hong Kong, who's originally from Vancouver. And we were in the middle of interviewing him when the session ended. So we're going to continue our session right now, but we're going to flip that a little bit into Chinese first and translation back into English for change, which we have done before. And okay, with that in mind, let's me first get into a little bit of translation back that we sort of missed out in the last session. OK， 各位聽眾，我哋又翻到嚟第二節嘅節目嗰度啦。咁今日我哋嘅訪問嘉賓Marshall Jan 即係阿俊咧，係原本係溫哥華嚟嘅，佢而家就喺香港同一個Datura 嘅 magazine 寫嘢啦，佢亦都有自己嘅博客嘅部落叫做Darsology。咁我哋上一回截斷咗嘅時候，就啱同佢講到佢嘅少少嘅事蹟啊。佢就原本響 Simon Fraser 大學畢業，就佢熱衷打籃球啊，亦都玩跆拳道嘅。咁我哋就問到佢點解咁會突然間玩啲飛鏢咧？咁自從2014年開始㗎啦。咁佢話喺佢最後一季嘅時候，大約係9月嘅時候，2014年咧，佢就喺溫哥華啦。當然就佢一直都係想做到最好嘅，無論喺邊一方面都運動嗰度，但係從來就冇寫過啲乜嘢。咁亦都有一個係佢嘅 background， 即係佢嘅學習嘅本科亦都有啲同寫嘢有關啦。咁佢喺2014年嗰陣時有一日去咗呢個 Crystal Mall 叫麗晶廣場吧。咁咧就開始嘅時候，突然間哇見到有個靚女喺裏頭，咁佢就有兩個 machine 喺度啊，幾個 machine 喺度，咁佢突然間諗咗，哇！咁佢認識呢個女仔都唔錯喎，咁一定要有啲表現啦，咁就膽粗粗，自己都係從來未玩過飛鏢嘅，我相信，因為好多嘉賓都係有啲人教啊，或者係自己有各種奇遇啊，咁呢個真係好奇遇，咁佢就或者想識呢個女仔，而家變咗佢嘅女朋友啦，就係 Jasmine 啦，咁於是咧佢就 走入去竭盡佢嘅所能表現一番係嘛，切磋一番啦。咁結果都成好事喎。咁相信都一個好傳奇嘅故仔嚟嘅。好啦，咁我哋而家咧就繼續我哋訪問。首先咧，我就幫發問用英文，跟住我會翻譯翻用中文同阿Marshall 講完之後就翻譯翻俾英文。幫 give us a question.
In just a short period of time that you are experimenting how to play darts, and no one is even teaching you the proper way of throwing darts, yet you are one of the best, and you are aiming to be the best darts player. How did you practice into darts? Wherein did somebody teach you how to do the game, Marshall?
OK， 嗰個問題咧就係話開始嘅時候就無師自通，咁阿 Marshall 阿俊，咁究竟有冇因為高人指點啊？有啲咩可以同我哋分享嘅咧？阿俊，中文作答。
咁其實咧，我喺度。咁其實飛鏢一開頭係冇咩人教嘅，但係我想講嘅就係其實。有好多人俾過好多唔同嘅意見我，譬如即係我一路掟標，有好多人俾過好多嘅唔同意見我，或者我去睇人哋掟嗰陣時，我會學習到好多嘢。咁其實呢啲人全部都係可以算係我嘅老師。直到我真正去出國比賽之前，有啲人會同我講：哇，你要食手啊，或者你掟標之前 warm up 你應該我咧，佢話我自己咧就掟50個煲先嘅，跟住 triple 位咧就掟10個，跟住先至開始開 game 嘅，所以要 warm up。咁累積咗，我喺我當地個local 累積咗呢啲唔同嘅意見之後咧，咁我變成咗我嗰陣時嘅自己。
我想問
我係
講埋。
咁其實呢啲咧教過我嘅人，或者我睇全部都可以屬於係我嘅老師咯。我覺得即係我唔可以話因為佢教完我隻手，教我自己勁咗，係我自己摸索翻嚟，唔係咯。咁到我真係出咗去比賽啦，咁我出咗去比賽，我當然見到呢啲哇好多名人，我梗係好開心啦。我最記得嗰陣時見到阿 Paul Lim 個仔 Chris Lim， 見到黑人 Leonard Soldier-Gate， 見到Scott Kirshner Panda， 哇！見到呢啲人，哇！超開心。咁咧，第一時間我就係會問，即係同佢哋打翻鋪啦。咁打完翻鋪之後，我會問佢哋可唔可以俾啲意見我。咁喺每一個高手，每一個名人，再喺我自己嘅基本功上面再提醒我一啲唔同嘅嘢，我就記住佢哋講嘅嘢，再自己入模嘢磨咯。咁我通常咧。嗰陣時好誇張嘅，一有時間就練習先，就掟標掟煲。我最高峰嗰陣時，我個 warm up 係掟到250個煲，但係嗰陣時係可能掟咗幾個月，250個煲已經可能係仲有哇！真係好耐先至可能掟到250個，因為嗰陣時可能都係講緊 rating 8-9左右。咁半年之後就。係啊，咁半年之後就已經去到16，咁就嗰陣時都好多人都好驚訝啦。咁有啲人會覺得，哇！呢個人係咪因為佢哋冇真係見到我嘅努力？咁我覺得呢個人係咪咁細？咁有好多唔同，即係好 emotional 有 fluctuate 嘅。但係即係如果講話我點樣可以做成我今日咁嘅自己，就係因為我去好捉緊大家唔同嘅意見而去練習咯。
亦都係一個無師自通亦都係可以匯集咗百家嘅嘢而自己可以創造咗自己嘅嘅潛質創造到自己嘅成就，亦都係好好。好快脆咁問你有冇入會嘅當時？
入會係咩會啊？咩？
即係嗰啲Darts League咁樣啦，即係有冇啲係飛鏢會咁樣，即係你可以同其他人切磋啦。即係因為每一個地區。你明唔明啊？亦都有冇參加過加拿大嘅比賽？
明白。啱啱開始咧，我即係我第一 part 都已經講過，就係我係一個好中意比賽嘅一個人嚟嘅。我任何嘢我都想做到最好。咁我嗰陣時係非常之想入呢個聯賽。咁但係第一屆聯賽唔知道發生咗咩事，咁所以我就好唔好彩就冇入到。 但係之後咧，我第二次咧我就即刻捉緊機會，咁我就俾咗嗰度嘅大老闆Dark Side 嘅大老闆見到啊呢個人贏咗個人比賽，咁佢就之後就帶咗我入去佢嗰個隊度。咁我到今時今日咧都好非常感謝阿 Yang 嘅。咁之後咧我就去咗我就將我利用我咁多年嚟儲翻嚟嘅信用卡嗰啲 credit card 嗰啲 Air Miles 嗰啲分啦，咁跟住之後我嘅出國嘅第一場比賽就係 America Tour Minnesota 嗰場。係啦。
咁樣嘅話咧，就係你究竟從來有冇入過即係去過加拿大代表 Team Canada 嗰啲咁參加比賽咧？因為嗱，每年我哋有安排。
我冇，因為我嘅年資首先又唔夠啦，嗰陣時。
OK， 最後
冇話入個 Team Canada 嗰啲咯，係啊。
好快講一講就係呢個你一直而家都係玩緊軟式嘅係咪？
係啊，玩 soft
你係 soft tip 㗎。OK， 咁等我哋同我哋嘅其他嘅 audience 溫一溫先嚇，再翻轉頭。
好。
Okay, it's a long conversation. Sorry, guys, but I ask a whole lot of questions, and our guests give us a whole lot of answers. Okay, so to start off with, we started out asking who's teaching him and all that, and Marshall told us that he is actually getting all his tips from everybody and watching others playing. And so every good player, every person he meets is his teacher. He does not have a, so to speak, specific teachers. He went out and meet all kinds of people. Of course, you know that he's playing soft tip darts and not steel tip. But he particularly mentioned a number of people, and here I want to mention Paul Lim and Soldier Gates and and others. And he upon playing with these people, asked him about tips and instructions that he could have, and through it all, he was able to put them all together, understand it, and create his own style of playing from all of these different sources. So, as I said, he's quite an achievement, and he eventually. One of his big tournaments was over there at the American Tour in Minnesota. And so he's very happy with where he is now, and he's very grateful for everybody who gave him a hand to get to where he is now. Bong, you have a fairly quick question. Actually, we might not even have time for that question because we only got a minute. Okay, go ahead and ask the question. We'll come back to that.
You noticed that you mentioned about Paul Lim, Chris Lim, Kirchner, and Leonard Gates. Their styles are different, and they are not the same on the stance, the grip, the follow-through, the shot, but they have the same aim to be number one. Are you following them faithfully, Marshall?
或者我要先講呢個問題先，因為觀眾可能聽唔明。就係阿邦話呢啲咁出名嘅飛鏢手，你究竟係咪專注用佢哋教導嘅方法咧？咁其實呢個問題我哋之前都或者已經有答案，就係你其實係融會咗百家，係咪咧
？OK。係，佢哋的確係全部用緊唔同好多嘅方法去掟標，但係佢哋全部都係 number one。based on 一樣嘢係我學到嘅就係叫 consistency。佢哋 pull back 去到邊一個位，佢哋嘅 release point 去到邊一個位 ，follow through 去到邊一個位，每一支標都係一模一樣。咁我雖然學唔到佢哋個 form， 但我學到佢嘅 theory， 而從佢嘅 theory 中間咧，我可以揾到自己嘅 form， 而我而家就係揾到自己嘅 form 而做嗰個。
你或者好快脆咁講一講，你覺得佢哋係咪有極之大唔同嘅方法？即係佢哋嘅方法之中係咪大同小異啊？定抑或係各有千秋咧？
唔係，每個人嘅 style 都非常之唔一樣，非常之唔同。
OK， 你覺得佢哋係分別好大？
到佢哋嘅 sam 標係啦，但係佢哋嘅 consistency 係全部一樣，即係佢哋知道每一個 point，即係佢 point A 到 point B 到 point C， 佢哋每一個位都係好精準，知道係邊一個地方 release 啊，邊一個地方 pull back， 邊一個地方 follow through。咁我喺呢一個 theory 入邊之後，我就可以揾到自己嘅方。
係啊，咁你其實我覺得都要度身訂做自己嘅嘅身體係咪？咁可能你就係揾到呢一個，可能你就揾到呢個竅門啦。Okay, and we are coming to the end of the second session, so we will come back in a few minutes. Okay, let's take a break.
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
歡迎聽眾翻到嚟我哋第三節嘅潮玩飛鏢嗰度啦。咁我哋今日嘅 host 咧就係我啦Robert， 亦都係co-host 邦邦，同埋我哋嘅 guest 我哋嘅嘉賓就係 Marshall Jan 阿俊，一個翻咗香港做嘢嘅加拿大人。Okay, welcome audience to our All About Darts third session here of the interview with Marshall Jan, Vancouver resident who has now returned to Hong Kong and work on a magazine and his own blog. Last time we talked about we were in the middle of talking about different people and their instructions, and Marshall explained to us that it's all in the consistency. These people have a common thing, and that's consistency. And but in effect, they're different styles. They each have their own style, even though they're all number one players. And the point is that he was able to take these very different styles and adapt them to their body, to his body, and from there he would be able to take the good points on pullbacks, release, and etc. And he just find what's tailored to his own needs, and he make himself into one of the top players. Okay, now let's get on with the interview again, and Bong, you get the floor here.
Marshall, we're going back to the West Coast Darts Cup Championship, wherein you participated in this tournament in Vancouver. Why of all the pairings or the matches, why did you choose Leonard Gates against Lawrence Ilagan of the Philippines to write something and contribute to Dartura News magazine about the analysis of the game?
That is absolutely a very good question. So, we see the matches. We can see the matches, but it's very hard to understand what is going on. Yes, you understand. Okay, you can see that. Oh, he hit the 9 mark or hit the 7 mark or hit the ball. But can you see why someone does that? So, me as a writer, I like to analyze these things. And Leonard Gate, hands down for sure, is one of those, most out of the world player who would do crazy things, just to mess with you. So why I chose, Ilagan and Leonard is because they're two completely opposite contrast players. Ilagan is one of the best players in the world. Not just Philippines, but one of the best in the world. And but he's very by the book. Whether it's form or strategy, he's very by the book. And Leonard, he's not only one of the best in the United States, he's also one of the best in the world. Both of them has been the world champions. But he is very out of the ordinary. He would try to do different things. He might even on cricket he would go for bowlers instead of numbers. He tried to use a psychological strategy instead. Playing against someone who's playing the probability strategy. Who's playing with let's pull out the margin or whatnot. This guy's playing psychological. Oh, he's making use of why he's going to do that. Oh, now the opponent is thinking, oh shoot, he's thinking too much and he misses. he is Lettner Gate is that kind of player, and that's why this was one of my I would call it my trophy writing, because that match was simply amazing, and I was very happy that I was able to analyze an opportunity like that.
When did that take place? That West Coast tournament in Vancouver. Can you tell our audience what month and year?
So the match. Sorry. So the match. Are you talking about the match between Eligan and Lettner Gate?
Yeah.
Right.
That actually happened on
December
in Shanghai.
Oh, in
That
Shanghai?
happened in Shanghai. That actually happened in Shanghai at the World Stage 5, I believe. And I was there. I was present there, and I watched the game. And at first, I didn't understand it. At first, I was very, very confused at what Lettner was doing, what he was doing.
Usually,
lost.
Usually, Leonard is toying anyone out of psychology, and he plays psychological games. But Lawrence Ilagan is different because he is focusing on a textbook
Exactly.
darts.
Okay,
and Lawrence Ilagan has a very good pressure intake. So no matter how much pressure he gets, he shakes it off his shoulder and he performs at what he can do. So Ilagan is also very good and advantaged in that way.
Okay.
Well, so it sounds like one of those Muhammad Ali Fraser fights.
Yes, you're
right. World Stage 5. You recall the month and year that happened, or roughly?
Oh, that was what happened at the World, and I'm very I was very confused. What they were doing at present, but then fortunately, Darts Life, they uploaded their matches on dartslife.tv on YouTube, and I was able to rewatch it to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't remember when the Shanghai match took place. That's fine. But you did write about it, so let's keep our audience up to date on this one. 邦邦啱問到呢個問題咧，就係話我哋嘉賓曾經寫過一篇十分好嘅文章，係關於呢個分析呢個由Leonard Gates對 Ilagan 嘅響上海當時嘅 World Stage 5嘅比賽嘅。咁佢嘅文章覺得係一個代表作啦。佢睇翻呢一個回帶，睇翻喺 YouTube 嗰度更加清楚到當時發生咗啲咩事。發生嘅事就係話呢個 Leonard Gates 其實一直正如邦邦所講啦，都係中意玩嘢，中意擾亂人哋嘅視聽啊，用心理戰啊。而 Ilagan 咧就係一個中意跟住部書去玩嘢嘅，即係話打牌出張係打正張嘅，咁但係Leonard Gates 咧就係一個打亂張嘅，中意等你有啲心理困擾啊，等你有啲好大嘅壓力，咁但係Ilagan亦都可以接受到呢啲壓力嘅，通常咁呢一個係好精彩嘅比賽嚟㗎。咁佢亦都寫咗一篇好嘅文章，咁大家或者有機會嘅時候，我哋就大家一齊揾翻出嚟去參詳一下。Okay, now back to Bong.
I want to follow your blog at Dartsology by Marshy. What are the main topics there being discussed, Marshy?
So, it changes various time. At first when I wasn't that good of a player, it was product review. So if you go back to early 2015, you will still see some of the product review that I do review. But right now it translates to a more like my dart journey. So whenever I learn something from someone, I would write about it. So for example, last year in August, I learned something from Kristen and Paulin. They gave me advices, and I analyzed them, and I would write it on my Dartsology page. I would write out the advices that they gave me, how I execute their advices, and I just want to share these advices. I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to share it to people who need them, who are stuck at a level. And so if they read them, maybe these advices will help. You never know. I have, also written about stock Kirchner advices for me. I have written about advices from Leonard Gates. I have written advices from basically people who are very well known in the soft tip community.
Wow, this is something I really got to get in and take a look and see if I can learn something from it myself. It is interesting indeed because this is like teaching people how to fish, and they can benefit their whole life. And you really have to you digesting it for people and then present it to people so that they can absorb it. And that is how you are doing a good job for the sport. Okay, let me do some translation, and then we will cut over to the end of this session pretty well. OK， 幫問到嘉賓究竟喺佢嘅博客嗰度而家係有啲咩寫出嚟咧？最近或者係以前，咁我哋嘉賓就回答係喺2015年嘅時候左右啦，佢都仲係做緊一啲產品嘅批評啊、研究啊咁樣寫關於佢哋嘅嘢。咁但係後尾而家將來咧，同埋而家咧就係將佢嘅同各位高級標手，例如Leonard Gates啊、Paul Lim 啊，咁各位標手俾佢嘅 tips 啊、嘅教導啊，佢係即係佢自己點樣將呢啲咁重要嘅資訊融合咗喺自己嘅飛鏢技術嗰度，佢一一向大家披露。咁即係正如我所講，我話即係如果你係可以將你嘅呢啲咁嘅知識傳授俾別人咧，可以受用一生，係咪？即係所以呢個係一個好重要嘅貢獻嘅，對於飛鏢界嚟講。And at this point, we're getting to the end of the third session, and we'll come back and close up on the final session with our guests. So hold on to your pants, and we'll be right up.
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
歡迎聽眾嚟到我哋第四節，亦都係最後一節嘅訪問。我哋今晚嘅嘉賓當然就係Marshall Jan 啦，阿俊啦，佢喺香港寫博客或者係亦都係寫雜誌飛鏢嘅，當然。而家我哋會繼續我哋訪問。And welcome back to our final session of our interview with Marshall Jan. He is right now in Hong Kong and writing for Datura and so got his own blog, Dotsology. And let's finish off with the interview. Bong, you ask the questions.
Marshall, what is the darting scene compared to North America there in Hong Kong?
Oh yeah, well, Hong Kong darting scene. There's a lot of rising stars. There's getting a lot of people who are playing darts, and all these people are very, very passionate about the sport. A lot in North America or in England, it's pretty much developed. There's already a lot of world champions in in the state, and in Canada. Hong Kong. You can say that they are on route to getting to that level.
Yes.
In a worldwide tournament, in a world and an international tournament, whenever a player sees that they are matched up with a Hong Kong player, they don't think of them much. I'm just playing against a Hong Kong player. But that's not the case. The case is that Hong Kong players are getting really, really strong. Me coming back has been golden because I was very welcomed by all these players, and when I play against them, they're all very, very good. I can definitely see them, winning the world sometime, in the next few years. It's just that they're giving the opportunity to do that. These players, they cannot go full-time in darts. They gotta have their own job. They got families to take care of. They cannot just go full-time in darts. But if they do, that's bonus for them. But even at their current state, they can definitely win, one of those world championships or the world in soft tip, in the next few years. No doubt about that. Hong Kong players are very, very strong, and there's no reason to doubt their abilities.
Good.
So are you going to aim for the number one spot, or are you going to write more about those who are going to be the number one dart players in Hong Kong or in Asia?
I am definitely a competitor. So I think I came back. The reason why I came back to Hong Kong is because I wanted to challenge myself. Vancouver is still developing. There isn't much of competition there. That's why I moved back to Hong Kong, to sign with Hinotori and become a better dart player and to challenge myself. I'm definitely back here to win. I didn't come back here to sightsee or write. I came back here to win, to become the number one, to represent in Hong Kong, to be in the Super Six. My goal is to be, at the same level as Roy and Lam. I'm here to show that, and definitely I'll be in more competition. Writing wise, I'll definitely continue to write as long as I play darts. But definitely I came back to win. That's for sure.
Very quick question. Is there a ranking system in Hong Kong? And if so, or if not, where do you think you stand from 1 to 16? At this point.
There are definitely So here's there's only one very well-known player in Hong Kong, one or two, which is Royden Man. But there are so many other players who are just at that level. So to be honest, if you said 1 to 16, I'm probably at 20th.
That's okay.
There are at least of these 20 Royden Lam level people, or if not very close to him. And yes. I am, and my years of playing doesn't my years of playing doesn't show yet, but I definitely believe that I have the potential to be above all of them, but just not currently. I'm ready to, and maybe in a year or two I'll be at that level. That's my goal and that's my aim. That's the timeline I gave myself.
I'm looking forward to see your name on the top 16, Marshall.
For sure.
Well, it's just a matter of time. One thing about any sport is that you got to have the determination, you got to get the help, and you got to have a target. It has to be measurable, and you see your progress. And I'm sure you can achieve that in the near future. Let me very quickly finish up, and then you can say goodbye to the audience. Give me a second.
Sure.
OK， 咁我哋問到嘉賓喺香港而家有咩環境咧？呢個玩飛鏢，咁當然而家喺香港係有好多新星啊嚇，啲係啱啱出頭嘅。咁響比賽嘅時候有好多人都睇少咗香港嘅，但係香港嘅飛鏢手咧，遲啲就一定會響世界嘅飛鏢壇上放異彩嘅。咁因為佢哋有熱心有熱誠，但係個個都唔係可以全職去做飛鏢手喺香港，咁所以呢個進度咧係稍為會冇咁快，但係亦都係已經係起咗步啦。咁至於我哋嘅嘉賓佢哋究竟會係寫嘢啊，淨玩飛鏢咧？咁佢講到而家最出名嘅當然係 Royden Lam 啦，飛鏢。咁亦都係佢嘅目標，亦都係向住一個高嘅標手榜嗰度進發。咁我問到佢佢覺得而家由1至16係幾多咧？佢覺得而家我大概係20度啦。咁即係有好多進步嘅空間。佢亦都係有好大嘅潛質去完成佢嘅理想。但係呢個只係一個時間問題。我哋希望1-2年之內就會睇到我哋呢位阿俊呢位飛鏢手，亦都係一個射手進行到進入到一啲最後嘅決賽啊，或者係贏到一啲錦標翻嚟啦。 And right now it's almost time for us to say goodbye. And so thanks a lot, Marshall, for coming on to our show and provide so much information for our audience. And we'll look out for your blog. We'll do things about watching your progress, and we'll find another opportunity to interview you again.
Thank you very much, Marshall.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.
OK， 咁我哋多謝呢位嘉賓嚟接受我哋訪問，我哋希望響將來再次訪問佢，或者睇到佢喺國際嘅比賽嗰度有進一步嘅佳績。好多謝各位收睇，而家以下就係我哋嘅飛鏢活動嘅節目。OK， 唔該你等等。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
各位聽眾，依家又係嚟到我哋潮玩飛鏢嘅飛鏢活動時間。我哋聽聽阿邦邦同我哋講下有咩飛鏢活動。Dear audience, it's now time for our darts activity part of the program. Let's see what Bong has to say about the darts activity upcoming.
This is Bong Faldas for your darts update. Darts Ontario Blind Draw Doubles prior to the Youth Provincial Championships 2016. $1,000 guaranteed. Entry fee is $12 per person. Friday on March 11 and March 12, Saturday. Registration closes at 7:30 p.m. Holiday Inn, 327 Ontario Street, St. Catharines, Ontario. For more information, contact Darts Ontario Youth Director Marjorie Allardyce 613-544-5360.
And OK， 各位聽眾，而家我哋講緊嘅就係呢個 Darts Ontario 嘅即係每年一次選拔全省選手嘅比賽開始之前呢，有一個double 嘅 blind draw double 嘅，就係響省比賽之前呢，今年2016年就係有1000蚊嘅獎金一定嘅，咁嗰個入場費12蚊每日，咁即係 double， 即係要俾24蚊一隊啦。禮拜五3月11號2016，或者同埋禮拜六12號，咁註冊咧就7點半就截止㗎啦，夜晚黑。咁邊度舉辦咧？舉行咧就喺呢個假日旅店 Holiday Inn 327 Ontario Street， St. Catharines Ontario。有咩資料你想再去攞清楚啲咧，就去打電話俾呢個 Marjorie Allardyce 嘅主辦人嗰度613-544-5360。
Multicultural Dart Association is inviting everyone to join the fun and meet new friends playing darts with us, darts mentors Peter and yours truly. Regular practice Thursday night from 6:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Registration for the dart training session is now open to all levels, from beginners, semi-private class, private class to senior competitors. Membership for the whole year is also available at a reasonable price. Visit MDA Clubhouse at C2 Badminton Club, Unit D, 1300 Rodick Road, Markham, Ontario. For inquiry, please contact MDA at 647-718-6921 for English, 647-997-0808 for Chinese language.
多元文化飛鏢中心係一個歡迎大家嚟到一齊玩飛鏢嘅。咁我哋嘅導師當然有Peter Scott 啦一個係資深嘅，亦都係邦邦我哋嘅飛鏢專幫導師啦。咁每一個禮拜四嘅夜晚黑6點半至11點咧，就係我哋玩飛鏢嘅時間啦。咁去邊度玩咧？就當然去我哋嗰個會所嗰度係 C2 Badminton Club Unit D 1300 Rodick Road Markham 啦 Ontario 啦。咁而家開始咗呢個註冊㗎啦。咁註冊咧就有各種級數嘅初級班私人班或者一啲好認真嘅比賽者嘅班咧。 咁而每一年嘅會員招收咧，亦都可以自助。咁如果若知詳情咧，可以打電話去647-718-6921，呢個係英文嘅，或者647-997-0808中文嘅嚟查詢。好啦，多謝各位收聽我哋節目，我哋再一次又嚟到尾聲。好啦，我哋等阿邦邦再練習下佢嘅中文。邦，you wanna tell us your practice of this program title?
潮玩飛鏢。
OK，
Thank you.
各位多謝你再一次收聽潮玩飛鏢呢個節目。我哋嘅 host Robert 同埋我嘅 co-host 阿邦邦，再見，拜拜。